Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, here to talk a lot about PC game updates, which we are going to get a ton of this week with Xbox Game Showcase happening Sunday. You've got Summer Game Fest happening, I think it's Friday, and then also you've got the IO Interactive Showcase happening, and then you have State of Play, which just got announced for tomorrow. Now, PlayStation dropping more of their games on PC, I think it's incredibly relevant to talk about State of Play on this channel and some of my expectations on what I could see get announced, and then also do want to quickly talk about the Witcher 4 cinematic trailer that dropped during the State of Unreal. Not too much to sink your teeth into, but still looks pretty damn cool. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But State of Play, primarily want to cover that, has been revealed for Wednesday, June the 4th. It'll be happening tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time. And obviously fairly relevant to cover this on a, as far as regards to PC gaming, even though the PlayStation blog notes, watch live for news and updates on must-play games coming to PS5. First of all, they always say that. Second of all, there's going to be third-party games. Third of all, there's probably going to be I would imagine some sort of PlayStation PC announcement. Whether it happens at State of Play or Summer Game Fest remains to be seen, because PlayStation will be at Summer Game Fest as well. But PlayStation does not have a lot of games to put out from a first-party standpoint because they iced themselves releasing so many, or trying to release so many live service games. They blew hundreds of millions on Concord. Fair Game is quite possibly one of the most dead-on-arrival games that I've ever seen in my life. And then Marathon is probably also going to be dead-on-arrival. Bungie was doing that, whatever. But then also they had a bunch of canceled games. Naughty Dog canceled Last of Us Factions. Ben Studio canceled their title. Ben Studio, the guys that made Days Gone, and then Bluepoint canceled a God of War live service game that they were working on. Sony was desperate. They were absolutely desperate to get some of that microtransaction gravy train. Totally backfired on them. Unfortunately, they won't face repercussions for it. They won't have any sort of consequence because they don't have a legitimate player that is opposing them. In fact, their only player that's opposing them, Xbox, is releasing their games on PlayStation, so it's completely cooked. This is one of those instances where I'm honestly upset that Xbox is releasing their games on PlayStation, because PlayStation deserves to be checked right now for being, like, so ridiculous and trying to chase after, just salivating for microtransaction money so much that they deserve to be smacked, but, unfortunately, that won't be the case. When you're talking about a healthy, competitive marketplace, you need an imposing competitor, and unfortunately, PlayStation does not have that right now. So they're just gonna get away scot-free after trying for an attempt to juice you of all your money. You didn't have any of it. The games were trash. Concord was trash. Fair Game, I don't know if it's gonna come out. And the other games are canceled, dog crap, and are a pile of trash as well. So, that's my unhinged rant on a PlayStation over. But as far as the expectations and announcements that I could see something in regards to remasters and classic titles. Infamous Second Son was available in the PlayStation Plus game catalog and recently got pulled. Usually when something like that happens, that opens the door for a remaster to get announced, and that is why they pull a game. They did the exact same thing with Horizon Zero Dawn, where they pulled that game from PlayStation Plus and then they announced Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. Infamous Second Son, I think, makes sense. It's a game that's 11 years old, and if they're not going to do PlayStation 3 games, which I think a lot of people want, Infamous Second Son is one of those games where, okay, I could see why you would do a remaster of that. You can bundle in Second Son and First Light. They'd probably price it at $50 because that's what Sony does, and you can port it to PC. I liked Infamous Second Son. I think it's a good game. Is it an amazing game? No, I actually think it's weaker than Infamous 1, probably on par or a little bit better than Infamous 2, but it's a pretty good game in its own right. And would I play it again on PC? You're damn right I would. I really enjoyed that game, and that's a fun open world game that I would get into. Other titles that I think would be worthwhile to see get a port, obviously Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection. Like, that's the one that I think makes so much sense. Given that Uncharted 4 kind of tanked on PC, and why did it tank? Because I think people aren't going to check out the fourth iteration of a game that is literally called Uncharted 4 without checking out the first three. It's one thing where God of War 2018 acts as a bit of a soft reboot for the franchise and is literally called just God of War. It's a different thing when Uncharted 4 is called Uncharted 4 and you don't have the first three games. I think Nathan Drake Collection has made so much sense for a while, but we'll see if that ultimately comes to fruition. And then, you know, if they decide to get their head out of their ass and finally start porting these PS3 games, I would imagine if you're gonna port PS3 games or do upgraded release, why not release them on PC anyway? PlayStation 3 ports of those games, they are not going to be console drivers. Nobody's gonna be like, oh my god, the PlayStation 5 has the infamous 1 and 2 collection, I gotta go get a PlayStation 5 now. They're just not gonna be like that. There's something that fans of PlayStation will be excited about. It builds some goodwill, and they'll generate a revenue stream where it's not that much of a cost to remaster these games. At least, I don't think it would be. People want to talk about, oh my god, the cell architecture took everything away from me and my family, and we can't do these games. We can't make Infamous 1 and 2, even though Bluepoint did Uncharted the Nathan Drake collection on PS4. We'll just quietly forget about that. Nonetheless, Infamous 1 and 2, Ratchet and Clank Future, like, those are all games that I think should come out on PC. Maybe not day one, like we saw with Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. It wasn't on PC day one, but why not just drop them day one? I think it would elevate some of those IPs a little bit. And again, nobody's gonna be like, oh my god, Infamous 1 and 2, the collection is on PS5. That's a PS5 system seller for me. Or, oh my god, Ratchet Future collection, that's on PS5 now. Let me go get a PS5. Like, no, nobody's gonna think like that. Maybe like 2 people will think like that, but not in overwhelming amounts of people. So that's some of the stuff I would like to see. Outside of that, it'll probably be focused on like games like Soros, which is the new Housemarque game, which will eventually come to PC, given that Returnal came to PC and everything comes to PC at this point. Maybe they'll do a final push for Stellar Blade and we'll get some sort of reveal trailer or a more insight trailer on the Project Nikke DLC. We'll see about that, but there should be some pretty cool stuff, I think. And if not at State of Play, Summer Game Fest, and Xbox Game Showcase as well. Moving on from that, I also do quickly want to talk about the Witcher 4 cinematic trailer that dropped at State of Unreal 2025. We don't get much insight until the end where you see Ciri and she steps out into the world. I think Ciri looks absolutely badass. Again, I'm going to say it over and over again. The people bugging out about Ciri being the main character in Witcher, you can have your complaints from a narrative standpoint as far as, you know, explaining Ciri being a Witcher, etc., etc. Whether or not that impacts game sales, I think people are just out to lunch when they think like that. I think it's a vocal minority, and when we see more footage of this game, I think people are going to be all in. Ciri looks like a badass. I mean, Ciri's character design, I think, looks awesome. I mean, if people are going to be like, oh my god, Ciri's ugly, like, I think we totally jumped the shark at this point. Like, I think we jumped the shark, and I don't know what is going on here. I think Ciri's character design looked great. I thought the end of her stepping out looks great, and I think this game is going to do exceedingly well. I think this is totally an issue of people conflating things about looking at games like Intergalactic and that game being received very poorly. And Witcher 4, certainly there's people out there, annoyed about aspects of the game, Ciri being a Witcher, etc., etc., Geralt not being the main character, even though his story finished up with Witcher 1 through 3, and he'll be in the game, but just not as the main character. We'll see how ultimately the game turns out. It's gonna come down to the game, but I think if people are inherently focusing on Ciri being the main character, or Ciri's ugly, and that being one of the reasons that the game's not gonna do well, I think you're totally out to lunch. I think Ciri, this badass woman as a main character, like, nobody has a problem with female main characters. Tomb Raider's been around forever. I get that some people are down on, a lot of games shifting from a male to a female MC. Like, I think Ghost of Yotei, for example, I thought Jin's story had a lot of mileage to it, and I'm kind of bummed out about that. With Witcher 1 through 3, like, I felt like Geralt's story was done. You're getting a Witcher 1 remake as well, so you're gonna get a new Geralt game here with the Witcher 1 remake, and on top of that, we'll see how this game turns out from a gameplay and narrative standpoint. They need to execute properly on that, and if they fail on that, and if they do some Dragon Age Veilguard type stuff in the game from a narrative standpoint, or from a gameplay standpoint, if it totally fumbles, okay, that's one thing, but I think just centering it around, oh my god, Ciri, she's ugly or something like this, I just think that's crazy. And yes, I get that opinion's out there, I just vehemently disagree with it. And I think that's one of the things in gaming that is a big problem, where people take things and then they just apply it to other games and they conflate all of these ideas where, oh, Intergalactic I think is going to do very underwhelming, and I think Naughty Dog hasn't inspired a lot of confidence over the trash that was Last of Us Part 2 from a narrative standpoint. CDPR, yeah, they fumbled with Cyberpunk 2077, but they turn that game around. That game's incredible now, and Witcher 1 through 3 were fantastic. Give them a chance with Witcher 4. Yes, it's a new character, but we'll see how it goes. So I will say Ciri is kind of overpowered, so from a power scale standpoint, I wonder how that's going to be managed, but we'll see how that turns out. Again, I could do a 1 hour long video on that topic, but I know some people will disagree. I think the game's going to be great, so we'll see how that turns out, but probably won't be out until 2027, 2028 anyway, and a lot of things can happen by then. But State of Play, that'll be dropping tomorrow. Expect some big announcements, hopefully on the PC side of things as well, and Witcher 4 gets a cinematic trailer at State of Unreal. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.